Hey. Let me check my mic here. Hello. I don't see anybody yet, so I'll wait and get my notes together. Let's see. Hey, Drip Speaks, Sean. How's everybody doing? Hey guys. Okay, 2 is enough. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, my name is Mike. I'm the guy you see behind the videos on Mojo Grip. So today's live update actually felt like the last couple of ones the last ones that I did felt like a month or 2 months ago. So I thought it was time to do another one. But anyway, I wanted to keep you guys posted and updated on everything Mojo Grip. Also Oshkosh. We just got back from that a week ago, and just things to look forward to in the future. Okay, and I have my show notes here. And please feel free, actually before I pull that out, feel free to ask any questions in the comments area. I'm constantly looking at them. So if you see my face down, I'm basically looking at the comments to answer whatever questions you have. And also, if you hear some background noise or scratches, it's our pet iguana. His cage is literally across from me. So, but anyway, let's get started. Okay. So first thing, honestly, guys, I want to apologize for some of the whack audio that you've heard in some of my videos lately, particularly the most recent videos that I uploaded. I believe it was the one for the electric airplane at Oshkosh. There's no excuse for it. Believe it or not, I had all of my gear with me. I want to blame it on the sun or just the excitement. You know, when I'm doing the interviews, a lot of times I'm supposed to pull out my voice recorder and all that, get mic'd up, but I didn't. So that's my fault. And I honestly just apologize for that. And I promise to fix it. I promise to fix it. Not all of the videos is going to have, terrible audio moving forward. So I'm going to work on that. All right. So please accept my apologies on that end. Now, some updates with Oshkosh. And please do let me know if you're hearing. Speaking of audio, let me know if my voice is transmitting well on your end. If the audio is bad, please let me know. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave my show notes right here on the screen. So Oshkosh, man, it was like being at Disneyland, honestly, for me. It was a little overwhelming for my wife because we had to walk a lot, but it was fun. I was able to get most of the airplanes that you guys wanted me to check out, and I will be uploading those videos in the coming weeks. If you are on Patreon, you're going to get, I've started uploading on Patreon already, so I'm basically uploading the videos, all the clips unedited. So if you're on Patreon, you get a first-hand peek at the videos. But for YouTube, I'm going to, edit and upload those videos as time goes on. So stay tuned for that. Now, some updates. I think the wife just came in. But, hey, so sorry, my wife just came in the house. But anyway, shoot, I forgot what I was saying. Okay, so yeah, so updates on at Oshkosh. So I was able to get a lot of the videos. Again, I'm going to be uploading all the clips on Patreon first. So if you're on Patreon, you get to see those videos firsthand. And if you're not, make sure to check out Patreon, okay, and join. And I appreciate everyone who's contributed so far, okay? Babe, I'm going to block you out of my live stream here. You keep walking in the background and distracting me. So I'm going to move that. You're still in the background. Anyway, just say hi. Say hi because you're interrupting the video anyway. So other than that, I did I got a lot of clips, a lot of videos, and I was disappointed that I wasn't able to get some. I didn't get to see some of the airplanes that I had in mind. More specifically, the Panthera was not there. Sorry, guys. You guys requested that video. They didn't show up. Pipistrel was there, and they had some of their other aircraft, but the Panthera, to be more specific, was not there. So no clue what's going on with that airplane. But if I find something out, obviously you guys would know about it. And then another disappointment was JMB Evolution. Not disappointing in the sense that because they were there, but the airplane itself was not there for me to check out. So, but I did get to speak to them, and I actually met a customer while I was at their booth, a customer who's also a viewer of Mojo Group. So that was awesome talking to them. And so this is the gist on the JMB Evolution. For those of you who have not seen that airplane, you can always search it on my channel. Just Google it. It's a beautiful aircraft. It's supposedly light sport because of the utility, but you can get it with retractable landing gear. So makes it extra cool. But here's what I've been told. So right now, JMB is based here in the US. They're based in Florida. But if you say you were looking to either get a demo flight or whatever, they have an airplane or two there that you can go for a test flight or whatever. But if you were to purchase one, they don't have a factory or parts or all that good stuff here. So this is the process. Basically, you would put in your order, and then they fly you to the factory in Europe, and you get to basically help build the airplane. You know, you pick your interior, your avionics, whatever it is that you want, your paint scheme. So you're hands-on with the build of the airplane. And so once you get to do that, then you wait. You wait. From what I was told, I believe 6 months? I think it was 6 months. Although the customer I spoke to had to wait about a year to get his airplane. And sadly, I left at the end. I think we left on Thursday or Friday, but the airplane got there on Sunday. So the last day of the event, the airplane got there. But yeah, so that's the update with JMB if you are looking into that aircraft. And the last disappointment was Sling TSi. Okay. I was disappointed because I could not get all the shots that I wanted. The plane was there, so the plane is good, and it's everything that I've imagined it would be and more. Okay, so I got a chance to see the airplane, although when I looked at all the footage that we had of it, the audio was not good. But I will make an update video for that particular airplane. But I can tell you guys some of the updates on the TSi. All right, if you're not familiar with this is an experimental airplane, 4-seater from the airplane factory, and you get an extra boost of power with it. But so here's some of the numbers. Okay, your cruise speed is now at 145 knots compared to 120 knots in the normal Sling 4. You get some extra performance with your climb, and the body itself of the airplane is it's beefed up a little bit, and you see it in person too. It doesn't look so much different from the original Sling 4, but there are some redesigning done on the aircraft, particularly the wings. So one, because of the weight, the extra weight of the engine, and also the extra performance you get from the engine, they had to redesign the body frame. So from what I was told, if you were looking to get a TSi instead of the standard Sling 4, you're looking at about $20,000 more in terms of costs. So you're paying a little. That includes, the additional cost of the engine, the additional cost of the body frame, and you also need new sets of propellers for that particular engine. So about $20,000. But the airplane, man, it looks beautiful. I will make an update video, like I said, and hopefully I can get all the good shots that I hope we have from the event. All right, so that's all of the update from Oshkosh, and now I'm gonna get to some of your questions. All right, let me see here. I have a few questions that you guys asked, and I'm looking here at the comments also, and I'll get to those questions. I promise. So Kimade Richards, please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. So Kamadi asked, I missed whether you flew. Also, Kamadi is asking if we flew to Oshkosh on a private plane. Sadly, no. I wish we did. That's the ultimate dream, obviously. But no, we didn't fly privately. I'm waiting for the day I get to do that. So, but no, we didn't. Jean Pierre asked, is it difficult for a black pilot to get hired by an airline company? So here's my answer to that. I honestly may not be the best person to answer that because I've never actually experienced being, the process of, applying for a job at the airlines. But what I would say, my experience when I think of aviation in general, believe it or not, with all the crazy stuff going on in our world, politics, race, bait, things like that, I always felt like aviation is one place that I've never felt singled out, to be honest with you. Now, on the business side, I don't know that for sure, but just on a civil aviation pilot, I've never felt excluded as a person of color. But again, that's just my personal experience. You can ask, somebody else may feel differently. But aviation is one place that I've never felt different in that field. I'll give an example. Even in Oshkosh, I remember my wife mentioning to me, you're probably one of the few minorities who are here. And I could probably count with my fingers how many people of color, black or Hispanic, that I saw at the
show. Less than 10.
She saw less than 10. She's right next to me. But my point is, even though there were fewer people of color there, I never once felt like, oh shoot, I'm the only black person here, or none of that. And that's because, look, we all just love airplanes, and aviation is about that. It's more about the passion of flying. So that's just my personal experience. Now, in terms of, the process of getting hired by an airline company, that I would probably need to talk to somebody who is a pilot, a commercial pilot, and see what their experience is. But my personal experience, I've always felt included, in all of my aviation journey. Well, maybe not all of it, but I would say 80%, 80% of it has been good. I hope that answers the question. Ian Newbert asked, do I have an update on my search for an airplane? And did I see any potentials at Oshkosh? So yes and no. For those of you who are new to the channel, I am looking to buy a small airplane for myself, and so I can get back into flying, at least flying regularly. So the last time I spoke to you guys on the live video, I said I was looking at the Grumman and a Cherokee, and I believe a 150. Everyone kind of just pushed me away from the 150. They said no. And to be honest with you, I'm not looking at the Cessna anymore. So, but an update would be that I'm actually looking hard now at a Piper Tomahawk. So if anybody is familiar with this airplane or you have any experience with it, please leave in the comments and educate me on some things that you may know. And I'll tell you some of the reasons why I'm looking at the Tomahawk. It meets my mission, just like the other aircraft that I was looking at. Now, the Tomahawk does have a bad rep in terms of its stall characteristics. I've spoken to a few pilots, and I've read a lot of both good and bad things, but I feel like there's just this red or this bad ink about it. And basically it was because initially when the airplane was first introduced, it was introduced as a trainer. And I think because it doesn't fly or it doesn't behave the same way as, say, the other trainers like the 150s or the 172 or whatever other trainer that was in the market at the time, it got a really bad rep. And basically they're saying, you would hear things like, the wings drop very quickly in a stall, and also the tail vibrates. I've actually seen a video of it, the tail shaking like it's gonna break. Basically, there was some something about the design of the wings of the airplane. So I've read all of those things, but still I am looking at it. And the reason why I'm looking at a Tomahawk is, one, it fits my mission. Two, it's not a four-seater, but to be honest with you, I was never going to need the extra two seats in a four-seater anyway. Most of the time when I'm flying, it's going to be just me or with my wife or with one more person. I've never really thought that I would be flying with four people in the airplane. So I don't need the four seats. The cabin looks very spacious, and I also love the fact that it's a T-tail. So some people have their preference on the design of a T-tail. I personally like it. One, the look and the functionality. And also, I train in an airplane that's designed very similarly to a Tomahawk. So I do like that about it. What else? I also love the interior, basically the reach and feel of everything in the interior. When you look at the cockpit itself, everything is right in front of you. You have your throttle, you have your fuel selector, and I think it has a mixture right next to the throttle as well. Everything looks good in terms of the interior of how I would want it, how I would fly in a single engine airplane. So also, most of all, it's right in my budget. My budget for the aircraft, 25,000. I don't want to go over that. And the Tomahawk is, you can get it anywhere from 20 to 25. I've even seen some lower than that. But so the downside of my airplane search, I'll be honest with you guys, is I'm based in Georgia, and a lot of when I look online, even I've been to the local airports to see what's available. Maybe somebody's selling their airplane. And a lot of what I see are Cessnas, high wing Cessnas, or if I find a Piper or something low wing, it's usually something way outside of my budget. You know, I've seen a few airplanes in the $50,000-$60,000 range, but I'm not. That's not my budget, right? And the few Tomahawks that I've looked at, they're based outside of Georgia, so I would have to. There's just a whole background work that needs to be done. So I'm taking my time, but I will be updating you guys as that goes on. All right, so that's the update on the airplane search. And let me see. I'm gonna look at some of the questions now in the comments. I still have some here, and I'll get back to it though. So if you're just joining the live stream, hey, welcome. Thank you all for joining in. Chris Dunn, the YouTube bros, what's up? Sean, Gordon, Sean Gordon, what's up? Okay, let me read some of your questions. YouTube bros, have I ever flown in a Cessna 172? No, I have flown in a 150. I don't know if they're similar in terms of flight characteristics, but no, I've never flown in a 172. If I were to say join a flight club, which is something I'm considering, there's a lot of 172s out here, so I'm sure that's probably what I'll be flying. Let me see. King Keiko, you're welcome, man. Appreciate the love. Sean, no, I didn't. If you're asking if I got to see the Piper Show Panthera, sadly, it wasn't at the event. No one knows what's going on with the airplane, but fingers crossed. Pevin wants to know, how many licenses do I have? I just have one. I have a private pilot license, and my goal is to add rating. So the way it works is when you get your license, you can always add stuff to it. So it's not just one license and done. Obviously, you can go for different types of licenses, but with just a private pilot license, you can get your instrument ratings, you can get aerobatics if you want to, and then if you decide to go commercial, you can go to the next route with that. So I only have one license. I'm not sure what you're asking, Buck. You asked TBM 950. I don't know what you're asking with that. A Trimble, I did give an update. I hope you were here on the TSi. So the Sling 4, again, it's everything that you expected and more. I will be making an update video that I'll actually upload to the channel for you guys. So stay tuned for that. Aviation lover, do I think Epic Flight Academy is a good flight school? Can you give me more information? I don't know where Epic is based. I don't know if it's based here or outside of Georgia. But if you give me more information, I can look into it. So Sean is asking if the Draco scared me. So for those of you who are not familiar, the Draco is an aircraft rebuilt, I would say, by Mike Patey. You guys should check out Mike Patey on YouTube. Awesome engineer, builds just crazy out of the box aircraft. And the Draco is actually built off of an airplane called the Wilga 2000. I think is the model name of that aircraft. It's a tailwheel, and it didn't scare me, but it's intimidating when you see it in person. It's a really large aircraft. I know through the comments, some of you said that they're obviously larger bush planes or tailwheel airplanes than the Wilga, but for me personally, that's the largest tailwheel airplane that I've ever seen. And yes, it's very intimidating. Not scary though, but intimidating for sure. Next question. Chris Dunn, what do I do in real life job-wise? So good question, actually. I was going to save this. Believe it or not, it's part of my show notes. I was going to save this to the end of the show. So I'm a web developer by trade, and I also do online marketing, and I do consulting off time sometimes whenever the opportunity comes along. So, but my main thing is I'm a web developer, and I was going to mention this at the end of the live stream, but since I get a lot of questions, a lot of people asking me this same question about what I do, and so I actually created a new YouTube channel for that, and I'm gonna start posting that basically this week. I'm gonna start putting up videos so you guys can see the different side of Mike and what I do for a living. So I'm a web developer, and a lot of what I'll be posting on that channel is called the income driver. I'm gonna post it here. So if you are interested in, I'm posting that here. So go check out that YouTube channel. I probably have one video on there right now, but I promise I will be posting on there. But if whoever's interested in like online marketing, creating websites, affiliate marketing, things like that, the videos that I'll be posting on there are going to be about those things, and also just how to invest in money offline, which is something that I'm doing right now, is taking my stuff offline and trying to build something long-term offline. So I will be making videos on things like that and what I do for a living. So I hope that answers your question. Next, man, you guys have a lot of questions today. So Chris Dunn, the Cessna 150, it's a great airplane. It's a great airplane. It's a great trainer, but it just, for my mission, it doesn't fit. So I'm not really dragging it. It's just, for me personally, the Cessna 150 doesn't really fit my mission in terms of the space. I've flown one before. I've flown in one before. That cabin can be tight, and I'm not a big person, but it can feel a little claustrophobic in there. But it's still a great airplane, so I'm not dragging it, I promise. Paven, how long did it take me to get my license? It took me 15 months total. I actually, if you search on Mojo Grip, I made a video of my journey and the process, so you can check that video out. And it took me 15 months, but it doesn't have to take you 15 months. You can get done in half the time that it took me. But if you watch that video, you see some of the reasons why it took me as long to get my license. Let's see. I'm trying to move through these questions. Okay. A month ago. I can't pronounce you now. I don't know if it's pronounced FA Signal or just FA Signal. Can you please provide the link for the Tomahawk that you're talking about? Name, appreciate the love, man. You guys keep me making these videos. So Elijah Green, what was my favorite airplane that I saw at EAA? Let me see. We saw a lot of airplanes. I'm trying to see the Diamond, the Stratus was there. What other airplane did we see? Believe it or not, I think the airplane that absolutely just blew me off was probably the Draco. Because every other airplane that was there, I kind of knew about it already. I had some type of information, or I was familiar with it before I got to see it. It was nice seeing them. But the Draco built by Mike Patey was a stunner in the sense that I had never seen anything like it before. Even though seeing videos of it on YouTube prior to that, it's a different airplane when you see it in person. So I would say the Draco was probably my favorite airplane at the show. And Paven wants to know, can you, oh man, explain pressure and density altitude. I promise I'll do that in another video because it's going to take some time. But I'll do that in another video. But in the meantime, I did make a video about density altitude, and you can check that video out. Okay. 172. Brady, what was my scariest flight experience? My scariest flight experience. This may not be scary for a lot of people, but I would say my scariest flight experience was during my training. I remember I'm trying to see, was it a face check or? Okay, during my training, there's something called like a face check, and it's basically you go with a chief CFI, and they basically grade you on how you're doing so you can move on to the next level. And I remember on this day, I was doing a face check because I was trying to get to solo, right? And I was flying a different airplane on that day. This is why I always advise all of you guys, whenever you're training, the best thing you can do for yourself is stick with the same aircraft. Don't change. Even if it's the same exact make and model, if it's a different name tag, a different airplane, don't do it. It's best you stick with the same airplane. So on this day, we were flying a Diamond Star, but a different airplane than what I usually fly. And I remember we just took off. Now, at this airport, about 800 feet, you do your crosswind turn. And I was just about to do that with this chief pilot instructor, and the engine started to shake, like it was basically coughing, and like it was gonna die. And I remember just my stomach dropped on that day. That moment, I thought, oh shoot, we're about to have an engine failure. But luckily for me, the chief pilot knew exactly what to do, and he just grabbed the controls of the airplane, and he put the mixture to rich, the prop also full, everything full, and he just grabbed the control of the airplane, declared on the radio that we had an emergency and that we were coming back. And I would say one thing I learned from that experience is always declare an emergency first. Okay, a lot of times when people run into trouble in flight, the first thing or what you're taught to do is try to do your cockpit flow and see what's going on. But it's always a good idea also to declare an emergency first and then try to see what's going on. But luckily for me, like I said, the chief pilot knew what to do. And I remember we got back down, and he said it was something with the mags, and we actually went flying back up with the same airplane and nothing happened. But I remember how nervous I was flying after that experience. So that would be the scariest flight experience that I've had so far. Morris, if I would consider buying the SW51 Mustang, no. For those of you who are not familiar, it's a replica of the P51 Mustang, which is an icon in general aviation. It's basically like an LSA version. I would buy one just for the fun of it, but it really would not serve any purpose other than fun flying. But if I would buy a Mustang, I probably would buy the original build if I can afford it. So no, I would not buy SW version. Let's see. Next question. Scafey Wolf, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So name any chance that I would fly for the airlines. I feel like I answer this question every live video update. Maybe, but right now probably not. And that's honestly from the wife. We've talked about it. I did consider going commercial, but because of the lifestyle of a commercial pilot and sort of our goals in terms of raising a family and things like that, it doesn't coincide. So right now the answer is no. I would not be flying for the airlines anytime soon, at least. Sector O, how much does a jet engine cost? No clue, but I know turbine engines for turboprops start around 500. You can get those 500, 600,000. Like if you look at airplanes like the Lancer Evolution, which is a turboprop airplane, the engine itself, that airplane cost about $1.3 million. Okay, the engine of the airplane itself is 50% of the cost. So I know turbine engines, you can get them between $400,000 and $700,000, but I honestly don't know how much they really cost. What's my advice for new pilots? How new? If you're a student pilot, there's a ton of video that I made for if you're just starting out, things to look out for, mistakes that I made that you don't need to make. But one of my advice, obviously, is to choose the right school. And when you choose the right school, make sure you're in close proximity. And then third would be the instructor. If you choose a school, make sure you tell them that you want an instructor that's what they do full time. Okay, if they put you up with a young instructor, chances are they're going to move on to the airlines, and then you have to get fitted with another person, which is not always a great idea. Now, in terms of post training, man, I don't know what I would advise you, but I've made a ton of videos. I can mention a million things, but if you look on my channel, there's a lot of videos that I've made just for educational purposes. Brady, yes, I am a member of the EAA. Sector O, have I thought about buying or building a kit airplane? Of course, that's absolutely in my future. I just have to get wife certification first before I move on. Right now, I've been approved to just get a certified airplane, but I definitely want to build my own airplane one day. Eric, when was the last time you flew? How many hours do you have? So the answer to that question is the last time I flew regularly was probably a year or 2 years ago. But within the last year or two, I've been able to fly, but it's been separate apart. And a lot of it is if I'm reviewing an airplane or I'm checking somebody's airplane out. But in terms of me flying regularly, probably 2 years. That's why I want to get my own aircraft. That way I can fly when I want, whenever I want to, and I can fly more on a regular basis. And right now I have about 145 hours total. So my goal is to, again, build that up once I have access to an airplane. Okay. I mean, thanks for the love, man. Appreciate that. John L. I wish, believe it or not, technically I was invited to check them out at their base in Illinois. So if I'm ever at that side of the country again, I would definitely go for a test ride. Now, I did, check out a few other airplanes, and I think you guys will love some of the stuff that I'm going to be uploading soon. And a lot of them wanted me to, come out and take a test flight. But again, depending on my plans and how much time I have available, I will hopefully go for test flights in some of these airplanes. But yes, I believe it or not, the Bush Cat, speaking of that aircraft, I didn't know about it until one of you guys suggested that I check it out at Oshkosh. I've never heard about the Bush Cat until somebody mentioned it. And my first impression was amazing. It looked, if you see it in person, it's like wearing this cloth, so to speak. Again, in the video that I uploaded today, Danielle did a good job explaining the material used for that, for the body frame, but it just looks like a very simple aircraft, both from the outside and in the interior. So it's an airplane that I'm looking forward to seeing more and hearing more of for sure. How did time manage? Oh man. Okay, so Paven wants to know time management when you're studying for your private pilot license. That would depend on every individual. For me, my time management obviously was shitty because I was doing something else. I was running a business full time, and I basically try to create time to go train. But what I realized is that whatever time that I had initially set for my flight training was not near enough, because a lot of times I would go to flight training and then I would just leave flight training there and then get back to my normal life. Whereas if you're training to become a pilot, you're training both at the flight school and when you're not at the flight school, So in terms of time management, I would say what I've advised in the past is try to fly at least 3 times a week whenever you're training, and then also set time apart from your flight training where you're studying. So I think I said 2 to 4 hours a week, just focus on studying all of the materials and building the knowledge of airplanes. That way, whenever you actually get in the cockpit, you're already familiar with certain things, and the instructor doesn't have to run it through your brain all the time. You just focus on flying the aircraft. So that's honestly what I would advise to do if you're starting out as a student pilot. Philip L, appreciate it, man. Thank you for tuning in. Sector O, does your training hours count as total hours? Yes. So anytime you're flying, anytime you're, I guess, piloting command is the key word here. Even when you're flying as a passenger, you can still record the time as part of your build time. Although your time as private, that's not private, your time as piloting command is different from your general time. So your training hours does count as your total time. I wish I had a digital logbook here to share my screen and show you. There's a way that you record your flight hours in your logbook. And for those of you who are pilots already or student pilots, I would advise to also keep a digital record of your logbook. That way, if the handheld one gets lost, you still have your record. But yes, to answer that question, your flight hours during training does count as part of your total. Would I ever consider flying for Drake in aerospace? Morris, if you can share more about Drake, and I've never heard of them. And then Amin wants to know, what is the best airplane for the money? Depending on which airplane you're looking at. Here's the thing, guys. If I would say from my experience, I remember the days I used to watch YouTubers like myself on YouTube, and I would just daydream about flying. I just thought that, okay, like if I think back the first time I saw an airplane, we are familiar with is the big jumbo jets that commercial flights use. But when you get into civil aviation, it's a total new world, and you would be like a kid at the candy store. And once you step a foot in and you get started, and then you have another new world open to you, in the sense that when I first started my training, I thought there was just one specific type of airplane available. And then obviously over the years, I've come to realize that even within civil aviation, there's a ton. There's all kinds of airplanes. You have fixed wing, retractable, bush planes, kit planes, light sport aircraft. There's so much. There's so much. So the reason why I'm saying that is that when you ask what is the best airplane for the money, there's just way too many variations of airplanes out there that you would have to be more specific on which type of aircraft that you're talking about. And then maybe I can be like, okay, this particular make and model is the best buck for the money. Do I have an interest in a tailwheel endorsement? Absolutely. So Chris Dunn is asking about tailwheel. Yes, I do have an interest in tailwheel. As a matter of fact, I've already said to you guys that I have a preference in my airplane search right now. I have a preference for low wing airplanes, but I might get a high wing if it's a tailwheel dragger. And the reason for that is when you speaking to other pilots, I don't know this on the practical side, but having spoken to other pilots, I've been told that tailwheel is actually a really good way to work on your rudder and stick skills, your stick and rudder skills. When you fly tailwheels, because tailwheels they behave differently. And unlike, say, a Cessna 150, which is a really good trainer, that airplane can almost fly itself in, say, questionable situations. Whereas if you're flying a tailwheel dragger, especially on landing, you have to constantly work those foot and work your hands on the stick. So that's one reason I would, definitely consider again a tailwheel endorsement. So yes, I am definitely considering it because it makes you a better pilot. So that's one of the main reasons. Hey, Jasper, thanks for tuning in. What did you study from GLAM? And I'm not sure what that is. If you can be more specific on that question, Paven, I'll be able to answer it. How much did my training cost? I made a video on that, almost $30,000. Which again should be a lesson to all of you. You don't have to spend $30,000 on your training. It should cost approximately half that for anyone who's looking to get started. Or some can even get it done in $8,000, $10,000. Honestly, you don't have to spend as much as I did. So let that be a lesson. I made a video on that. Check out that video. Some of the mistakes that I made that you should definitely look out for. Have I considered buying a bush plane? No, I haven't, because my mission right now, based on where I live and what my plans are in terms of where I would be going or flying to, I don't think I would need a bush plane. If I would buy one, though, that Bush Cat that I saw recently looks like the deal. The Bush Cat or the Kit Fox would be a good airplane. Okay, so I've answered a lot of the questions here. I still have more from you guys, so if you give me some time to get to the other questions here. Vladimir asked about, so the picture I posted on the community tab, that airplane is an Epic 1000. For those of you who are not familiar with it, I did get a good coverage of it, and I will be uploading the video in coming weeks. A little bit about the airplane. It was introduced at least 10 years ago, and right now it's still going through certification. They've initially, when they tried to certify the airplane, I'm not sure what happened, but it was sold as a kit. So like the one you see me standing next to, that's actually a kit build. Somebody built that airplane as a kit. So, but speaking to Epic at Oshkosh, they said they actually, back in 2013, they the experimental program, and that airplane is looking to be certified within the next 18 months, from what I've been told. So, but I will be making a video of the Epic 1000. I do have interior shots, so I'll upload that video in the coming weeks. And that is it for the questions. So moving forward, guys, in terms of Mojo Grip, the channel, I will be updating as usual on Thursdays and Sundays. And I'm gonna try to do more of this live video. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy doing it. If you don't want me to, let me know. I don't want to, I guess, force my own impression on you. So, but I would love to do more of this live videos. So, but you guys let me know if I don't need to. So I would love to do like a weekly live video if the time permits. So, but I will be uploading, like I said, Thursday and Sunday. And I'm looking, maybe I have some extra time, I might upload one more time every week, because now I have a lot of footage from the from Oshkosh. So, and that said, again, for those of you who came later in to join the live stream, I'm launching a new channel called The Income Driver. And the reason why I'm launching this channel is because I get asked all the time, what do I do for a living, and things in those lines. And so this channel will be dedicated to that, basically financial stuff and technical stuff that I do in terms of creating a website, online marketing, digital marketing, affiliate program, and things like that. This is what I do. So I'll be sharing a lot of those experiences, and I'll be making tutorial videos on that. So if that interests you in any way, definitely check out the channel. Is The Income Driver. You can search it on YouTube and go ahead and subscribe to it. No, I have one video on there right now, but like I said, I promise I will be uploading more videos on that channel. Now, let me look at my notes. Oh, and I forgot. I need to thank all of my patrons. So Algin, Craig, James, Jose, Keegan. It's so weird not having Keegan in the search. But Keegan, thank you so much. Kimati, thank you so much. Matt, Stefan, Tim, and Winston, you guys are amazing. These are all everyone that's contributed on Patreon so far. I really appreciate it. Like I said, you know, you might think $1 is chicken change, but it goes a long way. It keeps me interested in making these videos. I mean, I would make the videos anyway, but you guys contributing your hard-earned dollars means a lot to me, so I really appreciate it. And if you're not a Patreon yet, or if you're not on Patreon yet and you want to become a patron, I'm going to leave the link to this video, and you can check me out and contribute there. And also, the things that you get on Patreon, basically, a lot of the unedited videos. So again, the videos I put on YouTube go through some nice editing, sound, all that good stuff. But I upload raw videos that is untouched. So you get to see all the background mistakes, whatever, in those videos on Patreon. And also, I'm starting to upload, I got a lot of images from the show. So all that will be uploaded as well. And you guys can always ask me questions. For those of you who, I think YouTube removed the message tab, but you can always get in touch with me still. You can get in touch with me through Facebook, Instagram, and also I'm actually going to leave an email here if anybody needs to get in touch with me. I'm typing it right now. So you guys can get in touch with me through there. I do look at the emails. I look at the questions. Whatever question you guys have, I will answer them. Okay. Wayne, are you for real? So Green Owl asked about the Sling TSi. I covered it in the beginning of the live stream, and then Wayne is saying he's a new owner of a Sling TSi. Please do share, because that airplane is definitely close to my heart. Are you in the state of building one, or you bought whichever one they had at the show? Because I know that's a test airplane that they have. But do share, please. Sector O, I should fly drones. Trust me, I would love to fly it because I know I can actually make better videos with drones. So I'll look into that. Tor BP, my name on Patreon is Mojo Grip. So as a matter of fact, let me put my Patreon link here. Okay, so here we are. So for you guys who wants to get more information on Patreon, that is the Patreon link, and you can just search for Mojo Grip on there. I'll type or search. Yeah, it's Mojo Grip on YouTube and on Patreon. Papa John 357, good evening. Thank you for joining. Let me see. Are there any more questions? Same thing on Instagram. It's Mojo Grip. And as a matter of fact, if you go to the on the YouTube channel, I think on the About page, I have a link to Instagram and Patreon on there. So so you guys can check it out. Okay, so if you guys don't have any more questions, well, Wayne, we should keep in touch because I would like to know some of your take on the new Sling. You know, and I might as well talk a little bit more about it. For those of you who are joining the channel, I did get a chance to check out the Sling TSi, the Sling 4 TSi at Oshkosh. Like I said, as a matter of fact, look, I have the. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is one of the pamphlet from the show. If you can see some of the numbers, it's probably upside down on my screen, but the numbers here, for example, so here are the numbers. Your useful load is now over 1,000. You're at 1,015 pounds for useful load. So you get a little bit extra weight there that you can use. Your cruise speed at 9,500 feet is 145 knots. And it says here that the rate of climb is 1,000 feet per minute. But from speaking to Sling, the airplane factory, those numbers are actually very safe numbers. From what I've been told, the TSI actually exceeds these numbers right here. From somebody who posted on my video recently, said they saw a climb rate of 1,600 foot per minute. So even though airplane factory is telling you is only 1,000, you actually get a lot more than 1,000 feet per minute. And also the speed. While I was talking to them, they said right now the number that they're going with is 145 knots, but you can actually see up to 151 knots true airspeed in flight. So again, this then you would have to fly to really get the numbers. And right now they have the test plane here in the US. It's going to be based in Torrance in California. So they're going to be doing a lot of test flights on there. And they've invited me to come check it out whenever I'm in town. So whenever I do go to LA, I will be sure to stop by and see the airplane again in person. Okay, so I'm going to answer 2 or 3 more questions. And then got to call it a day. Aviation lover, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Solitaire experience with the A5. Do you mean the Icon A5, or because you said the AA5? I'm not sure if you're talking about another aircraft, but if you mean the Icon A5, I haven't. I saw it at the show, but I haven't flown one. I am making. I'm going to be in Florida later this year, and I plan to check out the Icon while I'm there. So hopefully I'll have a video for you guys later in the year, probably within the next 3 months. Okay. Richard Loveday, appreciate it, man. Thank you. And I do want to say thanks to all of the people I met at Oshkosh. I literally, the video I uploaded before that, I said, if you see a pink hair, because my wife was with me, I'm like, if you say Sean with pink hair, just know that's us, and you can just stop to say hi. And I had a few people stop me in my tracks and say hi. So I do appreciate you guys watching the channel. Like, I mean, this channel has grown way more than I even imagined. The last 6 months we're at 22,000 subscribers now. So you guys, I thank you so much. You keep me making these videos because you keep watching them. No matter how crappy they are, you keep watching them. And I appreciate you guys watching and sharing, you know, all of the videos. So thank you so much. Joel, how long does it take to get a commercial license? I don't know. I would have to go through the process to let you know. TL Ultralights, I didn't see those at the show, but I can look into them. I have nothing, no notes on the Ultra on TL. I'm considering a partnership on SR2. I can't pronounce your name correctly. I think it's pronounced Neil Yub. Neil Yub, if you have, you say you're considering a partnership on a Cirrus, hey, if you're close by, you know, you can share some of that details. And speaking of partnership, believe it or not, I'm also considering partnership on the airplane that I'm looking at. As a matter of fact, I will be meeting in person with a few people this month. Since I posted my video on YouTube, I've had some people that are local to me reach out and said, "Hey, I'm also in the same place, and would you mind going on the purchase together?" So I'll keep you guys posted if that works out. Again, originally I just wanted to be mine, but as you know, everything in aviation can be very expensive, so a partnership would make sense. So I'm considering one as well. Keenan Crowd, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Papa John, where is my beautiful wife, babe? They're asking for you. She's right next to me, waiting for me to be done with the live video so we can go do some groceries because there's no food in the house. She says hi though. Keenan, thank you, man. I will. Okay, so that is, I have to call it a day. We got 2 more minutes. So thank you guys again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I will try to make a live video maybe once every week or once every 2 weeks as time permits, but I would love to do this more so I can update you guys live instead of editing a video to do it. Okay, so thank you guys so much. Again, check out Patreon if you're not on Patreon yet. I thank all of my patrons so far. Thank you so much for contributing. And for everyone who tuned in, appreciate it, man. And look for the next drop on Thursday. Also, I'm going to type again the income driver. The income driver is my new YouTube channel, and it's basically based on what I do as a web developer. And I'll be sharing a lot of knowledge on that stuff if that